Welcome back, everybody, to the 2024 Collegiate League of Legends Championship, hosted by Salty, Runback, Tiani, Odd Orange, and RMC. Going to give you all the action for Game 2 draft and Game 2. And what a surprise in Game 1. UST came out fighting early. Then Maryville looked like they had total control of the game. But UST never gave up and managed to steal victory from potentially what looked like the jaws of defeat.
Yeah, I mean, like I said before, it just looked like Mary was kind of discombobulated, a little
Yeah.
bit sloppy, kind of all over the place with their macro. Um, I feel like there was that point in the game where they had a sizable gold lead, 5,000, and
Yeah.
had a Baron, and it looked like they were in position to pretty much win the game, and they just their macro looked sloppy, honestly.
Yeah, it really didn't look so hot. We'll see if Maryville's able to clean it up, but real quick, we want to show you sort of the match history between these teams. And you take a look over the years, you see a lot in favor of UST, and you see a couple in favor of Maryville here. It just feels like UST, they might just have the Maryville number.
Yeah, and it's kind of interesting when we look at this as well, because in our minds we're all thinking, okay, Maryville is highly favored, right? Like on our predictions, I think it was only Shippy and Travi who said that, hey, they expect a UST win. But when you look at their histories within CLOL, they're actually neck and neck right now in terms of series scores. They are 3-3, two CLOL titles apiece, and that's why this matchup, that's why this Clash of Kings right now is so important for these two teams. And having seen their history, we probably shouldn't be that surprised that Maryville is dropping a game or even maybe potentially a series, because let's not forget, this isn't the final test. This is the final midterm. Whoever loses here still has a second shot in the grand finals.
Yeah, I think everybody will be okay. But I must say, I have to disagree with you, RMC. I think that if you are not surprised by this result, you are not giving Maryville due credit because of how good the team has been this year. Everybody can agree that everybody on the team seems to have leveled up, especially the bot lane of Scary Jerry and Psycho. And I have a feeling that Maryville will probably go with a bit more aggressive look in the bot lane. I know what you're thinking about that on Orange. It just feels like it fits them so well.
Hold on. I gotta defend myself. There is Porsche and Robbie Bob on that team. There is always
Yes.
CLOL magic for USC. That's all I'm saying.
No question, no question. I'm not going to try to say that, this should be a Maryville 3-0 or something like that. But I think if you're like, oh, yeah, of course it's going to be UST. I mean, you're not giving the proper credit to what Maryville has done this year.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, it's just we talked about it earlier. UST always turns up at the collegiate championship. They just do. I honestly hate those guys. They always turn up at the right time. But going into game 2, I'd love to see, you touched on it, Yanni, is a little bit more aggressive picks out of Maryville, specifically from the bot side, to be the ones to be jumping the gun, be proactive. Maybe they can look for their own 2v2 kills in bot side in game 2. I'd love to see that.
Yeah, RMC, you think that's the move, right? As we are going to head into draft here, you think that's the move for Maryville University?
Yeah, I think that would help a lot. The other thing I was a little bit surprised at, or disappointed in, I'd say, is UG's Nidalee that game. Really didn't feel like it had impact. Now, I don't think the pick is a bad pick necessarily. If you want to run that back, I'm okay with it. But I think a more reliable champion perhaps might also help out that bot side that Odd Orange was talking about.
Yeah. I was talking with some of the guys out there when we were watching the game. I also would like to see Spyrax and UG play more traditional. Like have Spyrax play like a more traditional mage, Ari, Hui, Oriana, Azir, and then pair that with like a more standard bruiser jungle pick that UG is also good at. It could even be the Kindred, but I mean, have him play Viego, have him play Xin Zhao, something along those lines. Even Vi, like a more traditional mid jungle that's not centered around AD mid AP jungle, where you kind of have to smash both of those matchups to like make those picks effective. The Tristana and then Nidalee.
Yeah, I think that's what they expected to happen. Obviously Tristana into Oriana, pretty good. Any mid laner would be happy picking Tristana into Oriana, but when you couldn't get that early push, it just didn't enable Yuji to do his thing. And we talked about that in the pregame about how important it was going to be for these mid laners to really take control and allow their junglers to do their best work. We are already seeing one adaptation that Varus is going to be banned away by Maryville this time around. That leaves the Ahri open for Robbie Bob.
What was UST's third ban? Because I could see them banning Skarner here.
It was
wow.
Jinx.
Okay, it was Jinx.
Yes,
Jinx.
it's
Wow.
the same as last game.
Yeah, I think they just don't want to mess around with that. I really like the Ari being open as well because Auto Orange, you're calling for traditional mages. You could slam the Ari as well on the side of Maryville if you potentially want it. And I don't know if it's worth first picking because the Skarner was really strong for Niles. I think Auto Orange, you called it out when you're saying that that was what held them through that early game. I think that's a fine pick to blind and is still a flex as well.
Yeah, something that's slightly worrisome, though, is like if you're running with the same thing that just, the Skarner played very well in the game one. Yeah, see, Porsche's already adapting his pick because he's like, I cannot play the Olaf into the Skarner. That matchup was not how I thought it would go. Time to pick, the tried and true, the Scion. Have it just be slapping each other up there and playing for team fights.
Yeah, I love that adaptation, especially Scion's going to go hard steel, and they're just going to trade hard steel stacks, right? And now it's a matter of who creates more space, who is unkillable. Which one of these two champions is actually Aurelian Soul creating space, right? But we are going to see this Aphelios come through for Array to no surprise, but to the surprise of RMC and Odd Orange, because I can see the look on both your faces. We're going to go back to Senna.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan of Senna prior. I hate it even more now that you're actually running to a Scion. I don't think that's the 10% you need.
Exactly what I want to say. I mean, who's gonna kill the Scion? And they're drafting their AD carry on 1-2-3 with the support parent. So I mean, the Kindred's dropped off the table, so you're not gonna have an AD carry in the jungle. I actually don't know who's gonna get through this Scion.
Yeah, I do. Do we go back to Tristana again? I mean, Ground Kit. To be fair to Sparks, I don't think the pick. I don't think he had problems with the pick. I think his Tristana was really good. I think the problem was they weren't playing with the pick. So if you want to go back to Tristana for that tank busting ability, I can live with that. But now it's not even on the table. USC just takes it off. Okay, so what are we looking at now? Like somebody in mid who can burn down tanks? Like is Asol what we kind of have to go for?
Yeah, but then I mean, there's a world where Robbie takes it on 4 as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm interested to see where it goes. You can already see Maryville starting to target at least that Orianna, just based on the team that UST has put together. I think that's a really wise ban. I think this next ban is going to be very telling here for UST. It actually goes to the jungle. I'm actually quite surprised. I thought they were going to aim another one at Spyrax's pool.
I don't hate a Viego ban because when you're playing Nautilus Skarner, you have so much setup already. I mean, and you will be able to play the front to back fight style when you have a Viego. Just kill the Rel, kill the Scion, best you can. Even though you have a Senna 80 carry, you'll still be able to shred through the Scion and pretty much get a free reset for the Viego. So I think that was a good ban from UST.
Yeah, Ari banning out against USC as well. The Viego ban too, the other thing with it is first you can get the resets on squishy targets, backline access like the Aphelios, and you've got a build-in Blade of the Rin King. You can always build a tank shredder build with the Viego as well, so kind of agree with Auto Orange. I don't hate it. I'm still trying to think like what are we running in the mid lane? Asol's open. Okay, we went with the Hui instead. That is not a tank busting option really. You've got a lot of range. You can try and outrange again, but I'm very, very concerned.
Depending on what Robbie plays mid, I like the vibe because right now actually UST's comp is just completely their Array is their entire damage. The Aphelios is all their damage. So right now they can just kind of dive on Aphelios and they should have no trouble killing the rest of the team once Aphelios is down.
Yeah, they are going all in on the Aphelios plan are the side of UST as this Galio pick is going to come through for Robbie Bob. And with this Vi that's going to be able to target Array, there are concerns, as you said, Odd Orange. I am curious to see if UST is going to be strong enough and burly enough to kind of rebuff the damage that comes in afterward.
I really like the Galio 5 pick, though, I'm going to be honest. It pairs so well with the Jarvan if they want to dive Hui, want to dive Senna, and it also can peel Array on the Aphelios. I think it rounded out their comp really well.
Okay. All right, everybody. We are on to Summoner's Rift here for Game 2 of this best of 5 between UST and Maryville. With UST up a game, the winner, remember, is headed to Boise. And Odd Orange is on the call with us this time around. RMC, what are you thinking of this early game?
I'm still stuck on this Galio 5 pick Odd Orange because I kind of see where Odd Orange is coming from, but I actually... It's funny because you were just talking about the Vi pick and the ability to shut down the Aphelios, and I fully agree with you. I feel like you need a secondary carry from UST. I don't know if Galio is enough to save Array, because if Yuji and Zyko just hard commit to killing this Aphelios, once he's down...
Yeah, especially with him being, he's Aftershock Galio. Like, I wonder what his build path will be. He might not do a whole lot of damage this game, but the pairing with the Jarvan, through the mid game, it will be able to bust through the Hui and the Senna.
True, and I do like that call. You know, we talked a lot about how Kenvi and Robbie Bob. This is the duo we're looking at from UST to try and make early action happen and to skill up the rest of the team. And this is these champions are the duo to make it happen. As we're talking about champion duos, it's actually Porsche and Kenvi with the invade right now and the lane swaps coming through from UST.
Oh, that's so unique. I really love that look coming out of Maryville, just allowing Spyrax to kind of just get ahead and do his thing. And, meanwhile, Kenvi and Porsche just going to raise hell on this side of the map as well.
I'm going to be honest, this is kind of, you love this if you're a jungler for UST. Having the Scion Leash is actually pretty nice for talking about top laners. That Q does a lot of damage to camps.
Yeah, and I think in general, this is a really good idea from UST. We've seen Porsche play the Scion before. He's very adept at handling the 1v2, even the 1v4 dives to come through. You picked the Scion, Maryville picked Senna Nautilus. We should have known that this was a very large possibility, and Niles
should not be walking up here.
No, he's just trying to clear. He does hit level 2, so...
This is very illegal for Niles. He's forced to flash away. They're going to try to finish this kill off, and it's going to be first blood going over to Array, and it will be a 1-for-1 at the very least.
Okay, I don't hate this. A lot of times, like the thing is, you need to hold the solo laner at level 1 to make the dive go easy. If you're able to find the kill back with the TP as well, Niles actually is not in that bad a situation. Robbie Bob, though.
Robbie Bob forced to Justice Punch away as he has been set behind from that early roam from Scary Jerry. Now Porsche potentially could find himself in a little bit of trouble here. Full engage onto him. He's still level 1. He ain't very tanky, and Yuji will be able to pick him up.
And a TP?
Got Robbie Bob porting bot now.
Yeah. Last time this happened, Robbie Bob got a triple kill. It was on a different champion, but it looks like he's there to just soak the wave.
RMC, you brought up a great point, and Niles able to hit level 2 and trade 1-for-1. He was actually able to TP back and not get re-dove. He actually collected.
Yeah.
Look, he's up a lot of EXP on Porsche in this top matchup.
Jeez, yeah, we were talking about how well Porsche can navigate sort of 1v4 situations, and you've got the Scion who can continue CSing, and so you hit that level 2 after the dive, but Niles has just played that, and now that lane swap that UST initiated is actually coming back to bite them really badly. In the bot side, Zyko and Array are pretty much dead even, but in that top lane, Porsche is now behind levels against this Skarner, which is so incredibly strong, and I don't feel like Kenvi got that big a lead in the jungle either.
Yeah, look at the plating too. Maryville got bot lane plating down to 3, and USC got no plating on top side.
Well, Yuji might be looking to punish here. Ghost and Flash from Array. Could be a little bit stuck. Hook does not land onto Trevor. So it looks like no further play to be had, but great Summoners burnt out of the side of USD.
I feel like a kill should have happened there, but
I don't disagree with you. I definitely don't disagree with you. I think Zyko, if his hook was on target onto Trevor, he was certainly dead.
Yeah, I mean, at least they got the flash out Array there, and
yeah,
it sets Yuji further behind, right? I think Kenvi got a small lead in the jungle, but getting to set Yuji further behind is significant, and I want to see what Kenvi can do with this lead. You set up the expectation earlier of Galio, Jarvan, Odd Orange, and I think Kenvi getting ahead is actually the bigger trigger for this duo to pop off.
Yeah, and Galio will always kind of be fine. He's one of those champions who can, if he gets put behind early, he can always Q farm, and you don't really mind being behind on that champion.
Yeah.
You can see they're looking to set Porsche up once again to be in trouble. They're trying to proxy that wave, and that means he will fall. So it looks like his life is just forfeit at this point. He is here to clear waves and make life hard. UST going to respond by taking the Chemtech Dragon.
Yeah, the proxy's working, though. Porsche is actually caught up in terms of CS, is denying now CS by proxying, and bought the space right now for USC's bot lane to move towards this dragon and kind of nullify that. So the initial play might not have worked well from UST, but I'm glad to see they're bouncing back. They had sort of a plan B or contingency in place to recover.
Also, look at what USC is doing here. They're getting the dragon on Kenvi. Almost got pretty low there. But they're also the ones to initiate the new swap again. So they took the dragon with their bot lane down there, and they're re-swapping again. I'm wondering if they're going to contest these grubs.
Yeah.
And we saw for a short time, UST was a little weird when it came to lane swaps, but it certainly nailed it down since then. And looks like we could see a fight as you predicted, although Scary Jerry, Niles, and Yuji are the first ones to start this up. Kenvi is not quite there yet. Robbie Bob is now level 6, so keep that in mind for a potential engage as Trevor is hunting around looking Spyrax, trying to poke out Robbie Bob. Now it's Niles. Good
There.
land there from Trevor, cutting off Niles from the rest of everybody else.
Oh,
Three-man
the
Impale
Impale!
goes down, but Array has red and white guns. And off on the side, stunned up is Spirax, and Array picks up another. He's got 2.
That's just good gameplay from UST. I mean, they were the ones who initiated the swap after the Dragon, and Maryville felt safe to pull the grubs because Dragon just died for UST 30 seconds ago. I mean, they did not expect the Jarvan to contest the grubs after already getting the Dragon.
Yeah, and Porsche walking up as well, you know, kind of just got back to bot lane and immediately called up to the Herald to back up, or pardon me, to the Void Grubs to back up the rest of the team as well. I do think Maryville had a good read. They were expecting the lane swap to come through. They wanted to contest the Void Grubs. I just don't think they indexed hard enough into it, whereas UST was willing to throw everything and the kitchen sink.
Kitchen sink landed flush there. As right now, Maryville still holds a gold lead despite all of that. It's very scant at this point in time. It's mostly on plates, and a lot of it is on Psycho, as he was able to cash in on a plate or 2 down there. So we'll see, right? You get to build a lot of armor here for Psycho. That's going to be really beneficial as the game goes on. Array will have some trouble trying to slice through not only Psycho, not only Niles, but potentially even Yuji later as well.
Yeah, I'd expect the game to be a little bit slow for the next 2.5 minutes and probably see a fight at that next Dragon. I do think both teams will probably want to contest it.
Yeah, and actually, Yanni, I'd like to go back to the point you're talking about for the stacking armor for Psycho. The fact that Robbie Bob did go after Shock, you know, it's kind of suggesting that he's probably going to be more tanky than damage-oriented. You kind of get away with just building mono defense, right? Just building armor, you don't have to worry about as much about magic resistance, whereas Maryville, Spirax still goes really well. The magic resistance is going to be important for USD. They've still got to split their defensive profiles as well. So we'll kind of see how it goes into the mid-late game. I'm still not sold on the Senna, but hey, maybe Scary Jerry can change my mind there compared to the affiliates.
I'm not sold yet either, unfortunately.
Yeah, I have to say, I'm kind of surprised that, again, Scary Jerry is relegated to Senna duty. I mean, maybe this is perhaps they're just trying to feel out UST a little bit here, knowing that, I mean, obviously you'd never want to get sent to the loser's bracket, but it feels like Maryville could potentially just be a little unconcerned, I guess might be the word.
I don't know if you have to feel it out if you're Maryville. You're just supposed to punch them out, right? That's how
That's
it
what I
works.
was thinking. Well, Yuji is certainly trying to do at least a little bit of punching here. But not able to do all that much. We haven't really seen him drop a cease and desist on anybody as well.
Yeah, something I was just going to mention. I'm a little disappointed that that Maryville was able to burn all bot sums at that level 4, level 3 gank, and that Aphelios wasn't, you know, re-attacked and re-punished with this flashdown, because he's got both his sums back up, and you'll have both up for this next Dragon fight. And if you're not going to punish him now, I mean, he's already 2-0-1. He's farming well. It's a little bit scary. He just picked up his Kraken Slayer.
Yeah, and Scary Jerry and Zyko, at least they're still able to get the splits. I'm actually surprised they didn't fully commit to taking first start. I thought they saw Ray basing. That's interesting. A lot of weird things happening in this bot lane right now. I'm really kind of lost as to what we're expecting to see from there. And then with the tanks top side, it feels like we're going to see anything interesting. I guess it's going to come from jungle mid for both these teams right now.
Well, teleport going to come in from Robbie Bob back into the mid lane here, so he definitely wants to be on the map for these next objectives that are coming up.
Is that a Crypto Bloom, his first item?
No, that's
what is that item?
It's the Hollow. What is it? I don't know.
Radiance?
We'll find out in a second.
Wow.
As Porsche goes down, Niles pushes them out of the Cataclysm. Isn't enough for him to get away. I have not seen that yet, but that was hilarious. Niles will fall.
Yeah, and Kenvi takes the immediate base because UST really wants to contest this Dragon. So Kenvi base didn't even bother pushing out that wave, and he's going to sprint straight to this Dragon. I imagine there will still be a fight.
Yeah,
Next
curious,
Dragon.
can he get there in time?
Kenvi took a lot of time to buy his item.
Yeah, he's taking a real long time. Porsche's here on the teleport, but a counter teleport coming through from Niles here. So it's going to be every member of Maryville, and they're kind of cutting off Kenvi as well. He's going to be forced to walk all the way around. Dragging down about 3,000 HP as they're looking for a full engagement. Trevor goes in!
That's
Look
huge!
at the damage coming out from Array as well as they are wiping Maryville. Zyko has run out of health. UST, with fantastic team play, are going to be able to secure themselves a dragon, and Niles is getting rifled down by that mid turret on top of it.
You know, I wanted to say it, but I knew the fight was about to start. I was like, there's just no way Maryville will win that fight versus Jarvan Galio at this stage of the game. There's just no way. Why are we standing in the river still? Guys.
That's right. I was thinking, okay, Kenvi was separated. Maybe there's a chance. 5v4. Maybe there's a chance. But they took a while too. I don't know if they were scared of Porsche, what the hesitation was. But once Kenvi got there, it kind of went south for them. We got to see the UST just dogpile onto them. And now Maryville taking advantage of those timers. All those outs are down. Now Maryville can maybe look to get an objective. And even that is a maybe because of all the gold that has been going over to UST, all the kills that have been going over to UST.
Simply put, RMC, Maryville just didn't have enough damage to be able to burst down this dragon, right? It's not that they were afraid. They were just not really doing a whole lot. We will see Zyko be able to pick up the first turret, but the Grubs look like they'll go over to UST.
You know something that UST is doing really well? Let's see if Maryville looks for a fight here. Just a standoff. Okay. It's UST they're bringing 5. Look at the way Porsche has been playing. He's been rotating to all of these objectives. Like, Zyko does not have TP, and that's why... Oh, we got a fight.
Yeah, they're trying to steal away that last Grub. Kenvi gonna go target the Rel. Robbie Bob coming in on the side. Forces flashes out from key targets. And that means we will see Grubs for UST.
Yeah, I mean, in the first place, it felt like that was where Maryville could have looked for if they wanted it. They didn't go for it, and then they look for the re-engage after when the outs are starting to come back up. Kenvi had Cataclysm available. Array's Moonlight Vigil almost came back up, and Trevor had the Magnus Storm. That's playing with fire, and Auto Orange, I fully agree with you. I think that's one of the big things. When you put Porsche on a sort of utility champion or a weak side champion, a tank like the Scion, is that UST is not afraid to sack Porsche, to call Porsche up to the fights at the expense of his CS, at the expense of his levels. And that got USC the lead. They're skilling well, they're skilling strong, and now they don't need to call up Porsche anymore. They win the 4v5s and the 4v4s, pardon me, and they know that.
13, almost 14 minutes into the game now as the last plate will be cashed in here by Porsche. And right now, UST with about 1,000 gold lead. Wait, 2, 1. All right, one more plate. It's Thanksgiving dinner. Porsche has gone in for 2 plates right now. And I have to say, I'm really impressed with what UST have done. The question is, will they be able to keep it up? Will Array, being the only damage threat, be a problem later? Niles caught in the Cataclysm. They're going to dump a lot of damage into him, but he's going to impale 2 under the turret. Array trying to do what he can, and it will be a 1-for-1 once again. God, Niles hangs so tough in those dives.
Yeah, I think with Kenvi being this low, this might be no flash on Scary Jerry or UG.
Yeah, remember those flashes were burned in the prior fight from Robbie Bob. Yuji is stuck, and he will go down, and UST will be able to claim the Rift Herald. Questions? I have questions, Auto Orange.
Well, yeah, go ahead. Shoot.
The questions are, why are they fighting for that when they're both down with Flash?
Because they thought Kenvi no ult, Kenvi was low, but I mean, it's just they didn't bother to pull the Herald out and get into a better position, and just got pinched on no flashes. I mean, I just don't. I'm not a fan of how the way this game is. These last 2 games are going in the early game with the Senna and Nautilus.
Well, Trevor here to cut off Scary Jerry, which means Niles is alone with Array. But that's a fight that Niles likes. And now it's Yuji here, teleport coming in. Trevor is low. I don't think Robbie Bob's going to be able to do a whole lot as Maryville University catch UST out in front, disrespecting them.
Okay, Trevor just he's just trying to buy time. He's out. Yep. And like you called Orange, a bit of an overstay. And it kind of feels a lot like game 1. I know that we're not kind of liking, this is not the clean Maryville that we're used to seeing necessarily. But they are still fighting back, and USC kind of doing the same thing. Does Robbie Bob stay here? He should be fine, right? He should be fine. Yeah, he's fine. Okay. Yeah, I think Maryville, yeah, like they are making some questionable decisions right now, but their mechanics are still there. And when they can bring the numbers to actually fight, decision making is sus. But if the decision itself is sound, the mechanics are still showing for Maryville right now.
Yeah, the only thing that I'd say is a little bit worrisome, like despite the gold being even, is if you look at where the gold is on both teams, look at how much gold Array's got 5 kills, he's almost on his Infinity Edge, and then
True.
on Maryville's side, 4 of those kills go over to the Skarner, which is not really going to change a whole lot for him.
Robbie Bob could find himself in a little bit of trouble here. 3 targets bearing down on him, and he will fall. It is Yuji getting the shutdown, but Porsche is here, and the rest of the team is giving Trace. Flag and Drag doesn't quite late, but Scary Jerry is stuck in the Cataclysm. Yuji's going to try to turn this one around. Array is in the area. Teleport coming through. Yuji getting low. Zyko keeping guys away, but Kenvi picks up a double kill, and now it's Niles who's going to be left all alone with Array, but they're going to be able to turn it around on him. Great ultimate from Porsche, making sure the AD carry of UST is protected, and it's a shutdown for Array.
And for Maryville, the delayed TPs that came in as well, right? You've got Zyko coming first, Niles coming later. Like, hey, guys, if there's a fight, we all need to be there. Or if you're just there to buy time, then back out. It just feels like Maryville, this game in particular, a lot of such decision-making, they don't feel like they're all on the same page.
I'm really glad you said that, RMC, because that's exactly what I said. Like, both the TP out of Zyko and Niles, it just came late. I mean, the fight was, it was a winning fight. They picked off Galio before the fight, you know, had truly fully initiated, but UST's members were there a whole 5 seconds earlier than Niles and Zyko. And it's what swung the fight.
Yeah, and on top of the timing too, right? Like the fact that Herald went down prior. Now you win a massive fight as Dragons spawn. You can see UST, this is just efficiency. We get the win up top, we go to mid, we take the turret, we go to Dragon, we pick everything up. And this Dragon is third Drake. We are at soul point for an Ocean Soul for a UST team with 3.5. Let's call it 4 tanks with Kenvi right now, because they're far ahead enough. 4 tanks with an Ocean Soul? Good luck, Maryville. Good luck, Scary Jerry on Senna.
Yeah, there will not be enough damage at all for Maryville to break through that. they don't even really have a carry on their comp that will shred through tanks.
Not in the slightest. I mean, Spyrax isn't going to be able to do much of anything. You can see Zyko memeing around a little bit, but eventually UST are going to be the ones that are going to sit there and emote on you, because you're not going to be able to get through any of them. Maryville University need to turn this one around and fast. 18.5 minutes into the game. I have to ask, guys, Odd Orange, what's the next move for Maryville? How do they start to regain control of this map?
Gosh, it's pretty hard. I mean, maybe do what they did similarly, looking for that pick on the Galio when he's pushing the side, and then just be more prepared for the ensuing fight afterwards. I do think it's pretty hard for them to play Prio through mid because of how strong Aphelios is right now. It's very hard to push him out. Oh, it's pretty tough right now for Maryville's side.
Yeah, and I think when you've got something like a Vi as well, you're not really looking for team fights. You pick a Vi for the picks, then that's the way you come back into this, is you just find the isolated target and remove them from the map. I know you want to go for the Aphelios, but if that's not an option, then go for the Galio if you have to. Go for the Scion if you have to. It's not the prettiest. It might take a while, but getting that gold is one way you get back in, and if you get that one pick, you get the numbers advantage. Maybe then you can start to look for fights.
UST living in the top side of the Maryville jungle. Look at the wards over on that side. You can tell UST is ready to set themselves up to get a pick, to get a Baron, and it's really surprising to see. This is the first time that at this point in the game, you've seen Maryville have to concede a lot in prior matches, and even the loss in last game. It wasn't until late where UST was able to take a bunch of advantages.
I'm actually kind of scared to see either team go for Baron right now. Neither team has some damage.
Saw what
to
happened
do it.
last time.
True. Last time, at least they had enough damage. This time, I feel like if Array gets caught in the Baron pit, that's one way UST could throw. And for Maryville, like who's gonna do Baron at this point? Like Scary Jerry and Spyrax, they don't have their breakpoints yet. Spyrax doesn't have a Leandry, so the Baron vision, it's good if you can bait a team into it. It's better, but I don't feel like either team really should be looking at it right now.
Yeah, I do think USC is probably just going to like feint into the Baron side for the next 2 minutes, and like their goal will actually be to switch over their vision to bot side and play for Soul.
Yeah, fully agree with that. Yeah, and Soul I think is the bigger one in 2 minutes time as well. I'm just trying to look at items and try and figure out for Maryville if can they actually hit the power spikes they need to kind of go for that in time, because right now UST undeniably is stronger across the board. Their comp's great for the team fight. Their items are hit. The gold's a hit. The dragon's in their favor as well. Maryville, if you want to go for dragon, I almost feel like I want to see them set up deep vision for a pick rather than actual vision around the dragon for a team fight.
Yeah, I'm curious if we'll see a Baron Dragon trade. You can see right now UST farming their extra piece of the jungle that they have earned through great gameplay so far. UG, unfortunately, is only able to pick up wards. They did clear out a fair amount of UST vision. So, minute and 15 seconds until that dragon. You know UST is going to be gunning for it. What's the move, Odd Orange? You're the jungler. What's the move?
Well, I mean, it's definitely too hard to trade for Baron. You don't. Maryville does not do Baron quick enough. I suppose it's trying to find a flank angle. There's not a lot of vision for UST on bot side. Maybe Skarner can get down there and get an angle to get behind the Aphelios. You know, diving the Aphelios with Skarner and Vi could be a possibility.
Well, they're going to immediately try to make a play here. Force Scary Jerry away. Teleport coming in. Robbie Bob going to land the taunt down. Psycho is caught in no man's land. He will fall. Next target's going to be Niles as he's trying to get away. He'll be forced to flash. And Moonlight Vigil is down for a Ray. So it's a 5v4 for the next 30 seconds.
Losing Psycho, not the end of the world right now. He does have teleport, will be up in 27 seconds. The question is, what do UST want to do? They're trying to set up for another
Sparks
pick.
and flash.
Yeah, and that's critical, actually. Now Scary Jerry and Sparks both flashes down.
It's only
That's
Psycho that has flash up, by the way. This is going to be so difficult for Maryville.
I don't know how they're going to fight this dragon, Maryville.
They're going to try.
You have no
It
vision
looks like
either.
they're going to give it the best effort that they can as Niles has teleported in to try to do something. This dragon's already been started up. Another teleport going to be coming through. It's for Zyko. Taunt going to come down onto Niles as the soul has been secured for UST. And now Maryville's problems will compound. Niles is stuck. He will fall. There is no bailout plan.
It should be Baron going over to UST as well, yeah.
Yeah.
No TP on Niles.
Yeah, and Array has red white guns, by the way. He's got all summoners up. You just have to rip this right, especially with white gun. You're just going to be chakraming this Baron down. And Maryville University has realized they cannot contest. The Gen G Baron buff will be going over to the side of UST. A well-earned Gen G Baron buff. Very clean play so far out of our defending champions.
They're still looking for action. UST ain't done just yet. Spyrax got out.
Spyrax is out, and BFE, man. He's going to go down as he gets run down by a portion, Robbie Rob.
Oh, no shot. Not Scary Jerry, too.
Scary Jerry. He's too scared, bro. He's not scared, Gerald. He's just frightened Jerry. He will fall next.
Goodness, that it is an absolute slaughter, Yanni. Orange. This is not how I expected Maryville to bow out. Even at the Dragon, it looked like they were going to just throw the Hail Mary, go for the 5v5. They take too long, and then at the Baron, they don't go for that. Instead, getting both their carries picked off, they don't have the wave clear left, and with another 10 seconds to go, yeah, the USC is just dismantling everything. The gold lead just blew up to, what is that, 7K? Almost 8K?
Yeah, I'm getting PTSD. This is hurt. This is hurting, guys. I'm gonna be honest. It's hard. I'm hurting right now.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I'm hurting too because I can't believe that they put Scary Jerry on Senna 2 games in a row. Game one, he had a very solid game. Absolutely give him that. I think the team as a whole did really well. But game 2, man, I am so surprised that they quickly just decided, yep, we're going to go again with the Senna. We need to see something a little bit more aggressive out of Maryville because UST has picked the comp that makes them the aggressors, and they have been successful with it.
Yeah, no, UST just pushing up in all lanes, and I feel like a lot of this goes back to that level 4 what Orange was talking about. You burn the flash, you burn the ghost from Array, and you don't punish this bot lane. And now Array 8, 1, and 3. Richest guy in this game. Absolute menace. And even now, even with the Vi, there still feels like there's no threat onto Array.
Yeah, you know, one thing I want to credit UST for is during game 1, it did look like Maryville had the better comp and fumbled. And then Maryville opted to draft into the same comp game 2, but UST had drafted on 2 fronts. They put a scaling AD carry and kind of a tank v tank matchup on top. And it feels like that Aphelios has just been able to free scale versus the Senna lane.
Veigar's been taunted up on the side, forced it back a little bit more as the minions begin to pour into the base of Maryville, and no one can stop Array because he's got an array of tanks ahead of him, frontlining, forcing everybody away. Yuji is low, Yuji is still alive, and he will fall. Trevor is going to at least be traded back, but the big taunt goes down, the big Moonlight Vigil on top of it, and Array and UST have a 2-0 series lead against Maryville University. Wow!
And Yanni, I got a question, man. You called them God Kings, but right now, are they gods or are they false idols? Because the Kings of Collegiate, the back-to-back champions, UST, are here to play, and Maryville seems to be just missing right now.
They just lost their powers, man. You know, I don't know where it's at right now. They maybe need a Hercules arc, you know, where they got to lose their powers and discover the true power that's inside of them. But they're going to need to figure it out pretty fast, right? Because nobody wants to be sent to the lower bracket. Odd Orange, I have to say, this cannot be the team that you have seen this entire season.
No, it's definitely not. I mean, I think Maryville's tunneling too hard on the Senna Nautilus. It's just not looking good. It feels like a lot of times the Nautilus is trapped in the side lane and not there to help the team in the fights. UST is always there first. I'd like to see them scrap. Personally, I'd like to see them scrap the Senna Prio going into game 3, potentially 4 and 5. But also, like you guys were talking about, you know, the saving grace of the day is, hey, we could lose 3-0 today. And we still got the losers bracket. You know, we're going to hit the Hercules arc in the losers bracket if it comes down to that. But I do think that Maryville is going to change things up. They're down 0-2. The first 2 games they played the same comps. They're 100% going to change things up game 3, and I think that will rejuvenate them going into the series.
RMC, do you have the similar feelings as Odd Orange?
Similar thoughts. I'm a little bit scared. I don't know if we're going to see another reverse sweep, Yanni. You are on the desk again today.
Oh, no, I forgot about that.
Yeah, the reverse sweep king. So if ever there was going to be it, it'd be now. But yeah, draft-wise, I fully agree with Odd Orange. Mental-wise as well, I don't know what the comms are like right now. But game 2, the communication and the decision-making looked much, much worse than game 1. So I don't know what's going on there in game 2, but during this break, not only do they have to fix draft, they have to fix comms. If you don't fix your mental and your comms, I don't care how good your draft is, it's just not going to work.
Well, it looks like Maryville is going to have to pick themselves up after going down 2-0 in this series. But as we have seen many times in this tournament, 2-0 is not a death sentence. We're going to take a very short break. And during this break, we had a sit-down with UST mid laner Robbie Bob. Hear about some of his journey and his experience through life in League of Legends.